Bushido Cult of Yurei Part 2. We have Kirai Villager, Gengo the Butcher, Wrath, formerly known as just Spirit, Taka, Orphan of Yurei, and Araka, Puppet of Yurei. 5 more horrifying miniatures, and 5 more great bases. When I started Bushido, there was only 4 available factions, later joined by a 5th one. I did pledge for Ito in the Indiegogo campaign, but now there are a whole 9 factions available, and I'm afraid I had to pass on the remaining 4. I haven't even touched any Prefecture or Savage Wave models yet, and on my painting table, Bushido has to constantly fight against Malifaux for attention. But Ito Itsunagi is already painted, so I don't know when, but Ito video is coming at some point. We start from Kirai Villager. That's just another zombie, I suppose. Some people on Bushido forums voiced their concern about that cat's safety. Don't worry, she's too slow to hit the cat with that mallet of hers. The cat comes from Edna the Crazy Cat Lady Blister by Reaper Miniatures. It comes with a bunch of them actually. In Japan, there were a lot of superstitions and urban legends surrounding cats. Sometimes they were even considered yokai, and when they were seen licking lamp oil, it was considered an omen. There's actually nothing surprising about cats licking lamp oil. At that time, it was produced from fish fat. But never underestimate the power of superstition. Oh, and that thing the cat sits on is actually a period Japanese garden lamp. See the connection? And that's how you make a miniature base tell a story. Gengo the Butcher. We got quite a disturbing scene here, but I really went all out while making this base. It's like a little diorama in its own right. I did use a couple of press molds for this project. The face of the terrified old woman was press molded from Malifaux's Madame Sibylle, and her legs from the Essence of Power. Everything else, including her hair and kimono, was sculpted from scratch. The idea of putting victims on the basis of monsters was something I got from Privateer Press and War Machine. It was a Kriegs miniature called Nightmare Helljack. It came with a Cynic base, which had a little girl in it hiding behind a brick pillar, and that's how the horror began. There's some really nice freehand detail in this, particularly the apron with cloud pattern. This is Taka, one of the orphans of Yurei. I made a simple but atmospheric base for this, a water edge with a little burning tree. The composition gives off a sense of desolation. I did some converting to the miniature itself as well. The original had a stitched up mouth, something I didn't like. And I also wanted to make her more of a monster than a victim. So I sculpted this nasty lollying ton, like the one I did for Wrath as well. It kind of unifies them as a tag team. I started painting this miniature all the way back in 2013. I made the base and even started painting it. But then the project got frozen while I was doing other things, and I only just finished it now. A lot has changed since then though. Originally, I was planning to use water effects on the base. Now I find them a chore. And murky water can be better simulated just by painting it. Originally there was just one Orphan and Spirit model, but now they're making more. So this one is called Wrath. It's actually quite a tall model, and I didn't want to make a base which would raise it even higher. The miniature ended up standing very close to the ground, and to make the base more interesting, I sculpted these burning trees. The flames are very stylized. They look like something out of Japanese woodblock print, and I wanted the miniature itself to look like something out of woodblock print as well. So I sculpted extra details on it, Like that hair blowing in the wind. Little eyeballs were inserted into empty eye sockets. Green stuff was added to cheekbones to make them more pronounced. It gained a plastic lower jaw from a Warhammer Tomb Guard miniature. And I sculpted an already mentioned lolling Tan, which I later replicated on Taka. Araka, Puppet of Yurei. This has to be one of the goriest miniatures I ever painted. He's basically a zombie of an Oni, if there can be such thing. But Java Isles is a fantasy setting, so that's okay. The miniature stands on a small cliff, which is tilted forward slightly. This gives the pose a bit of momentum. Now he looks like he's shambling downhill while dragging his grisly trophies behind him, rather than just standing. The grisly scene under the cliff is mostly press molds, mainly Confrontation, Scavengers of Acheron, and Droon, Scound of Skatach. And that's all my painted Cult of Yurei miniatures up to this point. Now I have to paint more. So many miniatures, so little time. Push the button in the bottom right corner to subscribe to my channel, leave comments, and take care.